What if I told you by the end of this video, you can build an AI chatbot that answers all of these customer questions 24/7 without writing a single line of code? Quick demo of what we're going to build in this video. Start new chat, and this will greet us, and we'll be able to ask questions. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and ask, what should I pick from your menu? Any questions? You can see it came up with a pretty nice answer. It gave us some nice suggestions about what we should try and some money saving tips and some further tips. And we can of course go ahead and ask another question. So I can ask about parking locations, for example. I'm going to go ahead and ask, you can see it was pretty helpful in this case as well and gave us some nice parking tips, and it's very conversational and very customer centric. Okay, so this was just a quick demo of what you will be able to build if you watch this video till the end. We're going to use a platform called Voiceflow. So if you don't have an account at Voiceflow, then go ahead and create one. You can get started with it for free. I'm also using the free version for this project, so it should be okay. All right, guys, so let's get started. I'm going to walk you through step by step how you can create an AI chatbot for your business. And you can do this for any business. We're going to be doing this example for a coffee shop, but you can adapt it as you wish. So as you can see, there are ways to kind of pre-generate the project either with AI prompts or just using existing template. For this video, I'm going to go and start from scratch. So let's head over to project, and here click new project, and we can pick a name. And if you wanted to generate a project from a prompt, then this would be the place to type your prompt into. But I will just click start from scratch. This large project, let's get rid of this. All right, so there's basically two key approaches to creating an agent on Voiceflow. The first one is using an agentic approach, which is basically you're using a pre-packaged agent and customizing some of the parameters. And the second approach is a more controlled approach. It's called deterministic approach, when you're combining these elements together to map out the action flow that you want your agent to follow. You're still leveraging AI selectively by embedding it into your logic, but you have a lot more control of the specific steps. For this project, we're going to do the agentic approach. This is a lot more simpler, and it is more than enough for this use case. All right, so let's start building out this project. If we go back to the website for a second, then we can see that it is basically structured around three topics. So we have something like a section about the location, one section about the menu, and one section about the ordering process. So these are the key areas that the customer might be interested in. All right, so we're going to build our AI chatbot in a way that it is able to answer questions along these lines. So let's go back here, and let's start by adding a new agent to our flow. You can just either drag and drop from here, or click this plus icon and then select the agent. We'll call this block determine customer question. We're going to combine different agents selectively to handle different parts of the problem. And the first agent is going to just take a look at the customer question and categorize the customer question into 4 categories. So it's either a question about opening hours, about a menu, or about the ordering process. And the 4th category would be that it is unable to understand a question. So the agent will categorize questions into these 4 categories. And then we will create separate agents to handle each one of these situations separately. Right? So you will see what it looks like in a second. So let's build out this first agent. Click new agent, and this will pop up this box. And here we're going to do a couple of things. The first thing, we can give a name to the agent. So for example, question categorizer agent. Then we're going to have to give an instruction to the agent. So I've already typed it out. I'm going to just copy paste it. Right. So this is a very simple instruction that captures the purpose of the agent. You can pause the video and take a look at it. And then we're going to have to, first of all, we're going to untoggle this knowledge base. We're going to be using the knowledge base in subsequent steps, but not at this point. I'm going to get to that part in a bit and explain. For now, we only want to add exit conditions. The agent is able to understand throughout the discussion whether or not one of these exit conditions are triggered. And if the exit condition is triggered, then it will terminate the discussion and it will hand over the control to the next step in this flow here. We don't have any next step, but we will add. So what we want to do in this particular case, we want to add exit conditions for all of these things, and one exit condition for an unrelated question. So let's start adding these exit conditions one by one. I click plus, and the name I will say customer asks about the opening hours or the location, and the LLM description would be something like this. LLM stands for large language model. So this is the brain which is powering this agent. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and add the other three. All right, so there you have it. We have all the exit conditions in place. You can check the description of the video and you will be able to find these prompts so that you don't have to type them in if you want to follow along with this tutorial. So this block is set up. You can, if you want, change the model. If you click here, you can see which AI model is used to power this agent, and you can change if you want, right? So if you have a paid plan, then all of these things are available. If you have a free plan like I do, then a lot of them are locked, but you can still decide to use GPT instead of Claude. I'm going to keep it as is. I think it is okay. So there we have it. We have now this first agent which receives the chat message of the customer, and it is able to make a preliminary discussion with the customer and decide whether one of these conditions are triggered. And it will give the control flow to the particular exit path. As I already said, we are going to add a new agent for each of these scenarios. We're gonna first create an agent for answering opening hours and locations related questions, and then an agent for pricing and an agent for the ordering process, and also one agent which is dealing with this unrelated question. So let's go step by step and let's create and build out these agents as well. So I'm going to click this icon and I'm going to create a new agent. Let's go with provide opening hours and location. And then let's click new agent. We can give it a name and an instruction. So this will be an instruction for this agent. And now we're going to fill out the exit conditions. But before we would do that, we want our agent to have a tool because we want to retrieve information pertaining to our business. It does not have business specific knowledge. We have to give some knowledge to the agent. So this is what this knowledge base is doing, right? So you can see that it's already enabled by default. This is a database where you can upload information. And that agent, if this toggle is enabled, then the agent is allowed to pull information out of this database and use it throughout the discussion with the customer. All right, so the only issue is that our knowledge base is currently empty. So this is why we have this alert icon here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this and I'm going to head over to this knowledge base section, right? So this is the place where you can add information by clicking add data source and uploading files. I have prepared 3 Word documents. They are here on my desktop. So we have 3 focus areas: the opening hours, the location, and the pricing. And each of these documents address one of those things. For example, currently we're dealing with opening hours and location. And if I'm opening this file, then this is what it looks like. It has some information about the opening hours, the location, some parking information, tips, some further tips. So this is a simple document which contains information about hours and location, and some of this information is not visible on the website. Ideally, these documents are covering all the important questions that the customer might be interested in. So you can put those questions here and answer them in this document, and then the AI will be able to leverage this document, and there will be no need for someone to keep answering the same questions 100 times over. So there we have it. I'm going to also upload these documents to Google Drive, and I will put a link in the description so you'll be able to use these if you want. For now, let's just go back to Voiceflow and I'm going to upload these documents. What you upload here is automatically turned into chunks of text and is stored in a vector database. So when the AI is going to the knowledge base to retrieve some information, then it is able to search in this vector database. So you don't have to put everything in one document. You can keep it organized as you wish. Let's go back to the workflow and now go back to our agent. And you can see that warning has disappeared from this knowledge base part because now we have information in the knowledge base. And now we're going to add the exit conditions, and there's only going to be one: the information delivered successfully. And we can give a description, which will be something like this. After we retrieve the information from the database and generated an answer, then this exit condition will be triggered. And with that, we have the first scenario covered. So there is 3 more to go, right? So I will put it here, and basically we're going to do a similar thing 3 more times. Right, so let's add new agent. There you have it, and create a new agent. This will be the instruction for this. Again, you can pause the video. I'm not going to explain this because it's fairly simple. We have the knowledge base enabled by default, and we already added the necessary documents. So let's add the exit condition. All right, so this will be the exit condition. Okay, so now we have our second agent up and running. So let's do this one more time. New agent and press. So this would be the instruction for this, and the exit condition. This would be the exit condition. Now we have set up this one as well. We have 3 agents which are handling this part. So let's add one more, which would handle the situation when we are unable to identify what the customer really wants. That the agent will actually ask for a clarification and will re-trigger this part so we can have something truly dynamic and conversational like. So let me show you what that looks like. So we add a new agent here. You can call it clarify question. And here we're going to give it this description. In this case, we can deactivate this knowledge base because we are not going to do any search. We are just trying to understand the question. And consequently, we will also have 2 exit conditions in this case. One, when the customer clarifies the question, so then we will reroute the logic to the part where we process the question and delegate it to the respective agent. And then if the question remains unclear, then we will route it to a final agent, which is going to explain to the customer, and it is unable to help and say goodbye. So I think that would work. Okay, so let's add the exit conditions here. So this would be the first exit condition, and this would be the second exit condition. All right, so let's close this. And now we have to handle these paths. So if the customer clarified a question, then we will take this, and instead of adding a new block, we will simply just reroute it to this section so that this question would get reassessed and then handled to the respective agents to answer. So this is one thing. You can also change the color of these, by the way. You do a right click, then you will see block color, and you can change it to green, for example. And now we're going to connect this to a final agent. So let's create a final agent for handling this situation. All right, so this would be and we can create a new agent. Right, this would be the instructions. And the exit condition would be that we explain the situation to the customer so the customer understands that they're using the chatbot inappropriately, so to speak. So we'll add an exit condition, unsupported request explain, and this will be our description for this, right? And with that, we can change this to, I don't know, red, so that this is clearly an error, short of a situation. And with that, we're basically ready. So let's give it a test. We can click test your agent, and now this will pop up. And so as you can see, it looks pretty nice. It is explaining to us what it can help with. So I will say, but let's go back to the website and let's check, for example, I don't know, we have this latte, right? So we should be able to ask how much a latte costs. So I will say, I just wanted to ask how much a latte would cost at your menu. All right, it was able to pull that information, and it added additional information as well. These additional details are coming from the knowledge base document. You can see that, for example, there's this part about customizations. And I remember there was also some information about the happy hours. Right there you have it. So in this hours and location document, we have this snippet, which it was able to utilize. So as you can see, it is pretty smart. We were asking about pricing, but it is able to pull in some relevant information from other documents as well. The chat has ended, and that's because we did not cover these parts, or we did not connect them back to this section to continue the conversation. I'm not going to do that now because I want to show you a couple more things. Let's see what happens if we ask something which is unrelated and how the agent handles that part. So I will say why dogs are great animals. And this will And you can see that it comes up with this pretty nice answer. So it looks quite natural, conversation-like. It explains that it is unable to help with this particular request and asks for a clarification. So let's clarify, and then let's do another situation where we don't clarify and then see what happens now. So I would say, oh, sorry, I wanted to ask how I can get to your location by car. Let's see what happens now. There we have it. It was able to pick up on this question because here we rerouted the program flow. I just realized we did a mistake here. I wanted to connect this customer clarifies question part back to this logic. I don't know what happened here. So this part would be connected back here, right? And then this customer request remains unclear. This would be connected to this part. The reason it still worked is though because we forgot to untick this knowledge base section, I believe. Right, so it still has the knowledge base. You can untick this. So let's give it a try. We'll just do another test. Say, ask the same stupid question, and now we'll ask again about the location. So right, so there you have it. There's no major change from the user's perspective, but on the back end, it is now using the correct logic. So let's start a new chat, and now let's try what happens if I do not clarify the question. I'll just say, I want to know why plus are cubed. Alright, so there we have it. It constructs an answer and it keeps the conversation going because we have the exit condition here that the customer understands that there's a problem with how they use the AI. And in this case, we have not yet indicated that we would understand it. So I will say, okay, I understand that. And this should, close the chat because now the exit condition has been completed. All right, so I think this is working fine. So the last step is to publish this and embed it into the website, which is kind of simple. All you have to do is just click this publish icon, and like I say, this is version 1, and click publish. And now I can click add agent to website, and this will generate this code block. This is a simple snippet, which you can embed into your website's code. If you don't know how to do it, you can ask your developer to do it for you, but it's a simple copy and paste into the web pages of your site where you want the agent to appear. If you want the agent to appear everywhere, then you would put it somewhere into the header block, for example, which loads on every page. So I'm going to copy this, I'm going to come back to this website, and this was created with Lovable, which is an AI website builder. So I can go and click edit with Lovable, and then simply ask the AI to embed this code into the website logic, and then we can see what it looks like. I would just say, please embed this code. And hit enter and let the AI do the code modification. Right, so there you have it. It entered this code to the index.html. So if you were to change to the code view and search for the index.html, then we can see that it simply copied this script and pasted it. So this script was simply pasted into here as is. So this thing. So I can go back to this website to view. It has appeared here. We can also come back here and just click refresh. And now we can see this here and click on this. And of course, you can customize anything. So you can customize the text, you can customize the color, you can customize the logo. So you can make it feel truly unique to your brand. If you were to do that, you can come back and say, just under this appearance and style, you can, change a lot of the attributes that you want to change. So let's just try to change the header image. For example, I can come back to the coffee shop, create a screenshot of this. I'm going to go back to this editor and simply pick this header image. It looks pretty bad, but just want to show you how it works. You can also change the primary color to something else to better match your website. I would have to choose something like a brownish color. I don't know where it is, but you can do something like this. And then this would change the appearance of the agent. So there you have it. I would just simply publish a V2 of this and click publish. And I don't actually think I would have to change anything with this script, so I think I can refresh, and then I would be able to see this updated version of the agent, as you can see here. Can you give me parking tips? Oh, okay. So there you go. Of course, you might want to make it more personalized and fit your brand. I'm not going to deal with that now, but I think you get the logic. All right, so this is how you can build a chat-based AI agent for your website. It's a very simple flow where you can help with a lot of requests, and they can make your life easier or your team's life easier. All right, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. I'll be creating a lot more videos and sharing a lot more of these useful pieces of knowledge. So I hope to see you in the next videos.